everyone, we're back again, and we are talking about nonprofit events that are right around the corner. If you can believe it, pumpkin spice lattes are available at Starbucks, which means for us, that means fall is right around the corner, which means all of your fall fundraisers should be well within the works. And guess what? We're still working from home, which means that many of those events are probably going virtual. So we wanted to highlight a platform this week that talks through some of the capabilities of transitioning some of those key cornerstone nonprofit fundraising event strategies into a virtual environment. What do I mean by that? We're talking silent auctions, paddle raises, live auctions, and even like, peer-to-peer giving in a virtual event setting. So this week we're reviewing OneCause. And Lauren, talk us through a little bit about what some of those bells and whistles of the user experience looks like in OneCause.
Yeah, so it's pretty out of the box with their design. So when you're designing like a invite page, so kind of the info regarding the event, where people can sign up to, donate auction items, donate money, whatever it might be. That page is pretty static, that you can put in your brand colors, logo, if you have a couple key event photos for that specific event, you can put those in there, and then adding in any sort of integration that you want to, whether it's, an option for peer-to-peer fundraising so that everybody can kind of have their own fundraising team, or if it is, somewhere that you can submit your own push-up challenge. So I know that was one of the things that OneCause suggested. I don't know if everybody remembers the Ice Bucket Challenge, but now is the perfect time to be doing, recording little videos of you trying to do 10 push-ups and helping charity. So it isn't super customizable, but it is pretty easy to use, and will give you enough branding that people know that it's your organization. So.
Definitely, and I think it's important to mention that OneCause has been around since 2007, and they first entered the market with just the silent digital silent auction capability, and they used to be called BidPal. So some of the nonprofit, especially local to Chicago, probably knew of BidPal, and this is a shift and a growth into this virtual territory that they've been able to apply a lot of their software capabilities into virtual events pretty quickly. And what's nice about that is that all of those like key performance indicators of like the bells and whistles with a silent auction or doing a virtual challenge or peer-to-peer fundraising have been vetted already since was the core of their business. Now they're just layering on top of that with some of those virtual event bells and whistles. And to that one, I know that you and I initially kind of did a full deep dive into OneCause just before the pandemic, and we were both really surprised with some of the shifts that they've been able to make in such a short amount of time. Can you speak through just some of what to expect with planning a virtual event with OneCause?
Yeah, so they have done a great job on improving the platform. It has been a huge change in like 4 months since we first saw it. Definitely, it's really good to see the amount of time and effort they have put on the platform. One of my favorite points is you get one single like glass panel, right? One single screen to manage all your events. So this is not a one-time platform like some of the other ones we have reviewed. This is more you will use year-long through multiple events, multiple campaigns, text to donate, peer-to-peer fundraising, but you get everything in one single like control panel for whichever one of the many functions you're using. You get to control everything from a single screen. Really fairly easy to use for those who are not extremely tech savvy. If you can use a smartphone, I'll say you can probably find your way around the control panel and set up your event pages and everything else. But you also have the option to always add on that technical support from that great team at OneCause.
Definitely, and I think that's a great segue in talking through, for ease of use, we gave the platform an 8 out of 10 just because there is support available always arm's reach. And a lot of it is based on kind of different modules that you're going to take throughout your fundraising experience. So one of the ways that OneCause approaches building out the solution for you is kind of checking those boxes. So if you don't need the peer-to-peer fundraising right out of the gate, you don't need that functionality, it won't be available to you. So you can kind of customize that solution based on the needs of the event. But like Juan said, you're able to use that for unlimited amount of an unlimited amount of events as well. So thinking about how nonprofits operate as we're going into the 2021 calendar year, it's probably a good point to take a beat and think about all of the potential fundraising events that you're going to be doing for next year and see if it makes sense to switch to an annual platform versus a per event platform for some of those support needs. So keep in mind that yes, it's great if you're only planning one to potentially, do a makeshift through Zoom or some of the other platforms like we've mentioned, Give Lively out there or Demio. But if you're thinking of doing probably 4 or more events throughout the year, it would probably be beneficial to consider OneCause as well. So speaking through customization, Lauren, you hit on it a little bit, but there are some limitations with kind of the fundraising page layout and development. Do you want to speak a little bit about where we might hit a wall that we'll have to design around, so to speak?
So there just isn't a whole lot of customization options in there. I mean, they kind of have like a template you use, I guess, and you can't really stray that far from it. Like I said, you have those components like colors and logo and stuff like that you can change, but if you want to restructure the page completely, you can't really do that.
Yeah. And I think it's nice that, yes, the pages are responsive. So, if you're looking for a turnkey solution, it's available. But one thing that I actually have issue with is that they have this left panel navigation, which just seems dated and like counterintuitive to what everyone is being trained to navigate through a website from. We're used to now seeing upper right or top line navigation. And this is a big panel that sits on the entire display of your event page with all of your navigation to the side. So definitely would recommend for them to visit some of those page layouts and templates coming down to the future.
Very early 2000s blog.
Yeah. And it's not a hard switch, to have this kind of page builder or block style display editor. So hopefully that's in the dev track for them coming up. But even so, I think the easiest solution is to layer on top of your existing website and then link out to your fundraiser page or your event page. And that is always going to be given a free ride because it's not native to your brand. It's like an add-on to what you're doing for the event, which I always feel like there's give and take with that. So definitely able to be designed around, but hopefully something that they're going to be able to put some development hours into. Flipping gears on the security side, we have payment processing and integrations. Do you want to speak through both of those? We gave it a 6 out of 10, an 8 out of 10 for security and a 7 out of 10 for integrations.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 security just comes from they're doing their compliance. They don't try to be the payment processor. They outsource that to companies that are in that business, are fully compliant with all standards. As any current business, I would just like to see them do more than just the compliance part on security. I think we're in a point where threats are coming so quick that you need to do a little bit more than what it's required. On the integration side, it is amazing, especially for those of organizations on Salesforce. It integrates with Salesforce. It's a very well vetted integration, allows you to capture all that key information for donor management, development purposes for future years and other things like that. If you're not on Salesforce, you still get to you get a wide variety of CSV reports that you can use to either review or turn into more rich spreadsheets or even import those into whatever is your donor management solution. So there's kind of a room for everybody in there, whether you are in Salesforce or not.
Definitely, and one thing that if you're not using Salesforce, there's a large likelihood that you might be using a Blackbaud product, whether that be Razor's Edge or eTapestry, and there is a integration into both of those through a third-party app as well. So definitely key integrations to nonprofit-centric other platforms. The one thing that I would love to see them expand on a little bit is potentially integrations into other payment like accounting software, whether that be QuickBooks or Xero or some of these other platforms that are commonly used to manage the expense side of things. That would be nice to see them flex a stronger muscle into as well. Price overall, we gave it a 6 out of 10. And this really runs the scope because of the fact that you can take an a la carte approach, but with that a la carte approach comes with a blanket of unlimited use. That's a great proponent. So in speaking with OneCause, their cheapest route to go is just the text to give, and that starts at about $500 for potentially a one-off or an annual fee. And then it can be upwards to about $25,000 for the year. Now, if depending on how many events you're using that for, and if you're paying for technology a la carte out of pocket for that, I think as an organization, if you're making that commitment to OneCause to do all of your fundraising efforts through, then that expense is very digestible because you're going to get the use in so many different avenues of your fundraising efforts throughout the year. So I definitely think falling in the spectrum between 500 and 25,000 is nice to know that they have a customizable solution based on each and every organization's needs as well. And then overall rating, we gave this a good solid 7 out of 10. So we felt as a whole, yes, there's areas for improvement for that, but for that price point and for some of that well-vetted technology, if you're doing an event with an auction or a silent auction component, to layer some of that immediate call to action functionality on top of your videos during your event is going to yield results. We want to make this as easy as possible for your constituents that have supported your organization for years and years. And we also, this year especially, have to put special attention into not breaking the mold too much. We can't, say we're completely revamping this event because A, we're on a truncated timeline, and B, we've spent years and years to train people that our event's known for the best silent auction in town, and we're able to raise tons of money. Well, don't, do away with the silent auction completely, but think about how you can morph that into a virtual environment. And I think OneCause is a perfect solution for that. So thanks for tuning in, and until next time.